What's the best way to react if you accidentally misgender someone? I'm Ed Kane with Conversation in Progress, and what we're going to talk to you a little bit about is just how you can interact in this new kind of world where people's gender is something that's important and they're wanting to discuss. So here's the simple answer. You don't apologize, you thank them. Okay? So if you somehow use a pronoun that suggests that you believe they might be a he or a she or something, and they say, oh, sorry, I would like you to call me by him or her or whatever. So I'm not good at it. I don't know this thing, but so my inclination would have been to apologize. Oh, sorry, whatever. But what happens when you apologize is, no, it's okay, you wouldn't know, blah, 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 right? Puts it on to that other person, you apologize, and then they seem to have to kind of help you make you feel better. And they don't necessarily need to do that, or it's just you've made a mistake. So you can instead thank them and then move on. So how would this be applied to an actual situation? Say, hi there, if you'd like to come this way, sir, and you say, no, I'm a woman. I prefer to be called ma'am. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Come this way, ma'am. And why not, right? This is the way the person wants to be interacted with. If you wanted to call me Bob instead of Ed, I'd go, oh no, my name's Ed, and they say, oh, sorry, yeah, hi Ed, let's go, right? Or they would say, or that's, I said sorry, there you go. But you could also say, oh, thank you for reminding me your name's Ed. Here we go. So it's not a problem, right? The thing about this is that gender is now up for discussion. Okay, it's kind of, people are feeling differently about how they grew up. Personally, I don't understand this that well because I feel like there's a spectrum all the time of masculinity to femininity, or even spectrum of masculinity to masculinity, right? So Ben Shapiro, right? So he's out there. It's like, can you just decide to be a cow or a camel or a piece of fruit? No, you can't just decide, right? Yeah, but Ben Shapiro and your squeaky little voice, where are you on the spectrum of masculinity, right? Like, where's Ben Shapiro? Like, little whiny guy, right? So I put him, personally, on a spectrum of masculinity, kind of weak, right? Now he's a fast talker, he's all this stuff, and he can beat up on university students. Big skill there, right? So using some debate techniques and some, rhetorical method, right? But he's a silly little guy, right? So if you were to put him on, the Arnold Schwarzenegger to Ben Shapiro level, where are you going to put Ben Shapiro? Come on. He's not much of he doesn't have any muscle or whatever, right? So he actually defines the spectrum, right? Where does he fit in terms of gender? Now, what is gender really but people feeling like they feel in a certain situation, right? So you feel some way, you feel like you'd want to be interacted in this way. So as a man, as someone with this level of voice, as somebody that walks around like I do, feels great to be a man, feels great to be me. I'm just having fun with it. But if I thought that I should be addressed differently, hey, then I would just say that, and you could just say, thank you for letting me know. or whatever, right? It's just it's a strange world in some ways for some people like me, that we don't really know how to interact on this. But so that's the line. Thank people for helping you to understand what they're about. Does it mean anything beyond that? No, it doesn't mean much beyond that, right? Your identity is your identity. If you feel like one way or another, you feel, especially on the gender identity, it seems like that's really simple to people who are having a hard time with this conversation. But really, is it? No, it's so I don't understand everything about my own feeling of being me, right? Like, that's what we're doing. We're exploring ourselves. We're trying to understand. And maybe that person doesn't understand what it truly means to be themselves. Or maybe they do. Maybe they're very rock solidly confident that this is the way that it is. Now, if you were to, so some definitional things like gender identity, your understanding of who you are as a gender, whether you feel that you're not gendered, you're not a man or a woman, you don't feel this way, or you feel more like a man, you feel more like a woman, whatever you feel on the spectrum, that's your identity. The other one is your sexual preference, the people that you would want to be intimate with, who are you attracted to that way, is a separate thing, right? So people can be attracted to people of the same sex or the opposite sex. That's how that is separate from gender identity. Again, it's confusing to many of us, to me even, but it's simple, right? Now, what's the other extreme, right? You see this little clip of this meeting where the person says something, and they say, "Oh, when he said this," and another person pipes up right in the middle of it, in the middle of the discussion. "Oh, I would prefer you don't use gendered pronouns." Sorry, that's the way we talk, right? That's a sorry and not a thank you, right? But please listen to the point, right? Listen to what I'm saying. Don't just make it about this gender pronoun, right? Because isn't that a bit silly too, right? So don't, if you feel like it's important to be addressed personally, but if someone's using reading from Shakespeare and it just turns out to be gendered, that's what it is. Or if you're out there and you're talking about people, and you're not just saying people in general need this. Do we really have to say he, she, they, it, every parameter? If you say it, I think you should get a pass for it. If you're doing it maliciously, no, don't do it maliciously. But this is a time of transition. If this is a big issue for you, I think that if people are going to make a big deal about it, it kind of backfires on itself, because it has to be very new, right? I mean, this is a Jordan Peterson issue kind of thing. Like, it doesn't even get on the map for most things. If someone wants to be called a certain thing, just be nice and don't try to start a fight with them about it. That's easy. Thank them, move along. But at the same time, I don't want to be in any of these meetings where someone's saying, something about men or something about women, and someone piping up, and what about this? It's like that Monty Python sketch where the guy keeps wanting to interject that he feels like a woman, right? It's a kind of a funny bit, because they were talking about transgender people at that time. So obviously it's been around since the 70s. It's probably been around since the time of Jesus. This was the life of Brian, right? So think about that. Just be sensitive to people on both sides, right? If we're having a discussion, we're having a conversation in progress, and you're interrupting the person because they use a gendered pronoun, think about that too. I mean, right? I mean, or bring it up after and just let them know, this might be an easier way. So and for their benefit, right? So that they can communicate better when they're talking about, people's rights. All right. Well, that's a perspective. You might have a different opinion. I do appreciate who I learned that from, the thank you instead of the apologize. My tendency is to apologize just as a human being. They bump into me, I apologize, right? That's the Canadian side of me. So right now, just go out in the world and be awesome to each other. All right. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.